Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have the latest from the live radar, run through the weather warnings as we do have our first snow and ice warnings issued for this upcoming colder spell, as we do look likely to see some significant snow in places from perhaps even as early as Sunday. Now it is a very dynamic situation at the moment. Where will the cold and mild sectors set up, as that will decide where we see significant snow. At the moment, at least through Sunday and Monday, it looks to be across the northern half of the British Isles, likely to see significant snow, but further southwards later next week, we all look likely to be in that colder air, so those chances increase as well. So I said we'll look for the latest weather warnings, we'll look at the latest UKV, and then we'll have a look at some of the longer range charts as well, looking both at the synoptics and the precipitation charts. As I said, it is looking likely now the colder spell will end probably in around 7 or 8 days' time, but even hints today from the GM and subtly the ECMWF that the blocking might not be done with us come next weekend. It might hang around for a bit longer and potentially keep us colder for a further period of time. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. Now if you start on the live radar, you can see that we actually do have a bit of activity, a bit of precipitation for the first time in a while, and that is the cold front that is starting to push in. Now it is not a very high gradient cold front, it's not going from mild to very cold in the space of 50 miles like we can see sometimes. It is a pretty gradual cold front, so you can see initially with this band of cloud and rain that is dividing the mild air with slightly colder air, and showers starting to move in, but the very cold air is just behind it, and that will be moving in over the next 12 to 24 hours as I'm recording this around 9:30 on Friday. If you do look at the temperatures at the moment, you can see it is colder further northwards. Across the far north of Scotland, is starting to cool down, but it will be really hitting home through Saturday into Sunday. You can see across southern areas it's very cold as well, lots of cloud around, trapping a layer of cold air and a bit of fog around. Again, pretty typical under high pressure this time of year to see these sort of colder air masses holding at the surface. Again, this isn't forecasted as such to be this cold, but we can see these sort of microclimate conditions develop, and we're seeing this with the stretch across southern England at the moment. Now, to go over to the weather warnings, we have 3 days of weather warnings. The first warning for Sunday for snow and ice across northern Scotland. It's from 4 p.m. until 11 a.m. You can see really only covering the far north of Scotland, as this is the first proper start or first proper spell of winteriness that we'll see over the next week or so. See, during Sunday, showers will increasingly turn wintry through the day, with hail, sleet and some snow. I would say for snow, mostly after sunset, once those temperatures are allowed to properly fall. You can see there is little snow likely to settle at low-lying areas, but through the evening and overnight, 1 to 3 centimetres could accumulate in a few places, 5 to 10 centimetres, even at moderate hills around 300 metres. And of course, the temperatures will rapidly drop away overnight. So even if you see a bit of rain, hail, or melted snow during the day, it could very quickly freeze overnight. We could see quite an icy morning through Monday. Again, it's medium likelihood, lower impact. Again, a classic kind of warning for snow showers from 4 p.m. until 11 a.m. Now, if you move into Tuesday, we still got the snow and ice warning further northwards, but then look at this, a larger snow and ice warning covering much of inland, southern Scotland and northern England. That is from 10 a.m. until 10 a.m. on Tuesday, as there is a small chance of disruption from snow and ice, and this could be significant disruption, and that is because we're going to see weather fronts pushing in off the Atlantic as this small disturbance moves through, bringing milder air further southwards. But this is where at the moment most models have that boundary developing. It could shift 100, 200 miles further northwards or even further southwards, but majority have the cold boundary where we got this weather front, and there precipitation combining with cold air equals snow. Now, if you look at the further details, you can see spells of rain, sleet and snow are likely during Monday and overnight to Tuesday. Most likely scenarios for most of the snows fall on higher ground, with 5 to 10 centimetres above 300 metres, maybe 15 to 20 centimetres above 400 metres, so a significant amount, and there's a small chance of it falling to low-lying areas. But again, that will all depend on the cold air. If it undercuts the precipitation and exactly how steep that boundary will be. So still lots to determine for this, but a preliminary warning issued for this potential snow event, and we'll look at it in a bit more detail in a few moments' time. You can see medium impact, very low likelihood as expected. Could be significant impacts from this, but we've got very low likelihood because it is still a good few days away and models do disagree. And then into Tuesday, still got this warning, but expected to see further warnings issued as well. And if you go over to the latest UKV now, you can see that weather front moving in from the north at the moment. Snow showers starting to fall over higher ground through Saturday, but it's really into Sunday where they start to fall more significantly and do start to fall to more low-lying areas through Scotland. A bit of rain further south with this milder sector moving in, but you see as we head into Monday, it pushes slightly further northwards with heavier precipitation, bumps into that cold air, and this is where we could see significant snow further northwards, not just to the highest ground but to low-lying areas as well. Again, coastal areas will struggle just because of milder sea surface temperatures, just holding those temperatures up slightly, but across higher ground and inland, significant snow possible. Elsewhere further southwards, lots of heavy rain. It's actually pretty mild, but once this low clears and tucks away, could be some back edge snow, and then we get drawn into a very cold northerly wind, and then we go into a week of heavy snow showers, especially for northern northwestern regions, and there could be further bits of instability around, but it's a bit too far away for us to look at that with any detail at this stage. But you can see by this point, by Tuesday, Wednesday, all showers falling, especially inland, will be of snow even to low-lying areas, and that is because the upper air temperatures are very cold. You can see in Sunday, cold air is in place. It will be turning much chillier for all through Sunday, but it's this milder sector pushing in. You can see it's a matter of a few hundred miles between very cold air and mild air. And unfortunately, at the moment, that cold boundary is right over the top of northern England. Could shift further southwards, could shift further northwards. Again, historically, these systems have shifted further southwards, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is across the Midlands, perhaps, come Monday afternoon. And you see, eventually pulls away, and we go very cold for the rest of the week. Dew points widely below freezing, meaning a high chance of wintry precipitation. If you look at the max temperatures, you can see as we head into Saturday, temperatures mild in the south, still double digits, much colder across Scotland towards low single digits there. Overnight to Sunday, frost widely in the north, mid-single digits further southwards, and by Sunday afternoon, not rising much, hardly getting above freezing across Scotland, and mid to high single digits elsewhere. We do see milder conditions into Monday. Look at this temperature boundary at 6 a.m. on Monday. 11, 12 degrees South Wales, North Wales into northern England, touching freezing, if not well below freezing for all of Scotland and far north of England. Just look at that temperature boundary. It is very extreme come Monday. And look at Monday afternoon, widely across Scotland, northern England, an ice day, temperatures well below freezing, a transition through parts of the Midlands where it's 3, 4, 5 degrees, very cold, but slightly too mild for snow, and then 11 degrees across the south coast. But then look what happens into Tuesday, widely below freezing overnight, and by the afternoon only 5, maybe 6 degrees at best. And then Wednesday, temperatures widely below freezing overnight, and then into the afternoon, many areas again seeing an ice day, potentially only 3 or 4 degrees at best. So you can see it's a little bit wobbly here at the start. Sunday, Monday, lots of uncertainty exactly where milder and colder sectors will set up, as that, as I said, will make all the difference to whether we see snow and where we see snow. But come Tuesday, Wednesday, it becomes a lot more clear cut, and we'll all be in snow conducive air. Now, if you look at the latest GFS now, you can see the northerly wind is starting to arrive over the coming hours, and it pushes in through Sunday. Is this low that develops along the flow, and that gives that slightly milder sector? Again, lots of uncertainty with its exact positioning, but it is pretty similar to the UKV at this stage. Beyond that, northerly winds pushing in, and you can see beyond day 5, which is where the UKV gets to, there's a lot of instability around. So again, I wouldn't be surprised to see more areas of snow cropping up. Eventually, into next weekend, we start to see low pressure pushing in off the Atlantic, and it does start to go a bit milder. The GFS is pretty on board here with more of a westerly flow. Beyond that, with typical average temperatures, high pressure building towards Scandinavia, that could push further northwards, and that could return some blocking, maybe even easterly winds into December. But at the moment it looks to be back to more typical conditions. Now, do look at the precipitation charts on WX charts here. You can see as we head through Sunday, snow showers in the north. This area of rain pushes in and turns to heavy snow across northern England. A bit further southwards in the UK, encompassing Manchester there. Lots of evaporative cooling taking place. As I said, significant snow in places, eventually clearing, and then heavy snow on the back edge here as we do start to see the very cold air coming for all. And then further on in the week we see more areas of heavy snow and heavy snow showers pushing in for eventually milder conditions trying to come in off the Atlantic by next weekend, and it does successfully do that into the following days. Now, if you look at the GEM, which is by far the most interesting run today, because it actually keeps those cold conditions going for longer, out towards day 10, in fact. See northerly winds arriving, that low pressure system develops very similar to the other runs, and it stays very unstable and cold for the rest of the week. Lots of these small lows developing. Again, bringing a high risk of more snow. But look towards day 10, that block does lose its strength, but it doesn't disintegrate away, and it keeps the jet stream well to our south and actually keeps very cold air in place. And this again could be a recipe for more significant snow, with this milder air trying to push in up against this block. And again, if that block starts getting going again, potentially re-strengthening, there is a lot more colder air here to our north compared to what we have now. There is a big difference as we are, of course, 10 days on from where we are now. And I know that doesn't sound significant, but this time of year we are seeing rapid cooling across the whole North Pole. So that means that a northerly wind in 10 days time will be a lot more potent than it is at the moment, and of course 10 days beyond that even more potent. So again, GM very interesting, keeping us in this big cold block all the way to day 10. And because it's a consecutive colder spell, it keeps us in snow-conducive pattern for about 10 days here. You can see that wintry precipitation moving in through Monday and Tuesday. Again, very similar position. Northern Ireland, more of Republic of Ireland, much of northern England into southern Scotland, clearing away with some back edge snow, and then lots more snow developing inland. As I said though, over the past few days, the GM generally shows rain over sea, and you can see here though, inland it does so. Does show all showers starting to turn to snow, and generally beyond that it stays cold and wintry, and eventually it could be some more significant snow developing there, where we see some milder sectors trying to push in again to that cold air. If you do look at the 2 meter temperatures, you can see it is very cold, especially into the longer term. Look at that, widely below freezing. These lighter blues are below freezing. And look at this, by the day, it is low single digits, if not below freezing. And yeah, would be very chilly indeed from this GM, as it consecutive days, a good 7 to 10 days here within very cold air. Now, if you finish by looking at the latest ECMWF, again, northerly winds pushing in. That low slides through Monday into Tuesday, and then we see this very unstable northerly flow. And again, more snow chances there potentially next Saturday. Look at this little channel low pushing through with cold air on its northern edge. Not quite as big temperature gradient, so we'll have to see whether we do see snow with that. But very interesting nonetheless. Stays cold, but eventually the block disintegrates away. But it doesn't go to nothing, it just pushes slightly further south and encourages easterly winds. Again, doesn't produce anything cold for us, but as I said at the start of the video, it doesn't just go flat westerly. It definitely still shows higher pressure trying to ridge northwards. It's just having a bit of a lull from being able to push northwards at this stage. So ECMWF not cold in the longer run, but interesting nonetheless. And then just finish by having a look at the precipitation charts for this ECMWF run. Again, over the coming days, snow showers pushing in, that heavy snow pushing in for Midlands, Northern England there, through Monday into Tuesday, and then plenty of heavy snow showers pushing in for the rest of the week, and potentially another area of snow pushing in there, maybe for Saturday. Again, uncertain exactly how much cold air is in place for that, for eventually slowly petering away as we do start to see westerly winds pushing back in. Now, if you look at the ensembles, you can see it's turning cold on Sunday, a big rise in upper air temperatures for a time through Monday, and that is that milder sector. So most runs now have that milder sector pushing in for London. I wouldn't say there's no chance of the cold air pushing down towards London, but it's a pretty slim chance. It's quite a long way for the models to deviate. It's happened in the past. It's even happened at very short notice, but At the moment, I say Midlands potentially, and it's quite likely to see winteriness across perhaps Northern England and southern Scotland. The subsequent days, though, we're all into very cold air, and again, there is a good chance of more wintry showers within that. Beyond that, we're back towards average, but you can see there are some very cold runs, and they are consistently cold, following on from the cold air this upcoming working week. And you can see there are also some milder runs, so again, lots of uncertainty. Plenty of precipitation as well, so again, a decent chance that we do see further snowfall where cold air does hang around. 2 meter temperatures looking very cold this week, all over the place Sunday through to Monday. I can't tell you what the temperatures will be because the temperature contrast, the upper air temperature contrast is ridiculous. So subtle movements in the model output, again, will throw those temperatures by 5 to 10 degrees. So again, that'll be something we'll focus on a little bit more tomorrow. Hopefully we see a bit more consistency and a better resolution there. And then very cold the rest of the week. If you compare it to Glasgow, though, you can see it is ridiculously cold across Glasgow from around Saturday evening for the foreseeable future, even as the long range holding on to more colder conditions. And again, that's because a lot of the runs don't get rid of the block. It keeps it around. Operational runs are, but ensemble members are being stubborn here. And you can see, if you take this on face value, a sustained cold spell is looking likely for northern regions, and significant snow could be on the cards. Lots of snow spikes here, and of course, being this time of year, very low solar energy, very low daylight hours, snow sticks around a hell of a lot more than it will do in February or March because of that factor. And just finally finish up by having a look at the ECMWF ensembles. Very, very similar, pretty much exactly the same. A bit more uncertainty with the colder, milder sector through Sunday and Monday. A big spread, some above average, some slightly below average, and some snow conducive for London. So again, I wouldn't say never, but very low chance. 1, 2, 3% chance at best. Beyond that, very cold, and then we do trend back towards average with high precipitation, but again, massive spread, some above average and some saying very cold indeed. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how it does develop, but nonetheless, lots of opportunities for snow over the next week or so, and for some it could be significant, and we could see some disruption, potentially Monday, Tuesday for those northern regions. Again, widespread shower risk on the subsequent days, and I wouldn't be surprised to see more areas of instability and more disturbances popping up in the subsequent days. Just looking at those synoptic charts, lots of small little kinks in the isobars, lots of small little low pressure systems develop. So it'll be very interesting to monitor this in the next day or two. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to stay tuned for the upcoming videos, and I'll see you again for another video soon.